Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Amma ba'da, habati fillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As'al Allah kareem, rabbil arshil azim, and yatawallana fi dunya wal akhirah. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, protects us all from kulli su'in makruh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rectify our condition and affairs and clean the diseases out of our hearts, and bless us physically, mentally, and spiritually. Habati fillah. A question was asked, how can I foster a strong bond with my children? This is an imperative question, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of the people who go through this, who are concerned about this, and who ask these types of beautiful questions. How can I foster a strong bond with my children? Well, first and foremost is you need to establish that bond, especially while your children are young. When your children are young, in their very youthful phase as young toddlers, and then go with them and grow with them through the stages of life. Because if you have an absence in their lives, it is very difficult to come back, especially in this day and age with the many distractions and the many things to take you away from the remembrance of your Lord subhanahu wa ta'ala in spirituality, and the remembrance of one another and family ties and family bonds and the strength of community. There are many things to distract us from that. So in order to foster a strong bond, that needs to be done in the early stages and continual. And one of the things is establishing the authority, but at the same time being a friend. So you cannot allow your children to run you and run your household. You cannot allow your children to do anything they want. No, you have to be the authority figure, and you have to direct them according to Islamic mores and morals and values. And so you've got to establish the prayer with your children. You've got to establish the good and forbid the evil. You got to teach your children so they're not the bullies in school, and that they are defenders of justice. You have to do that. If you don't do it, no one else will, and they won't know how to do it. And maybe they will be like predators, or they will be like prey. But rather you want them to be balanced and them to be righteous. So that takes establishing that strong bond. And my advice in general is to always strive to gain that bond. So if you didn't have the opportunity, or you didn't make that opportunity, or you didn't take that opportunity when they were young, that now that they're older, do some things to reach out. Try to form a bond. That means sometimes you may not want to do certain activities, but you do things that they like to do in order just to make a bond, so that they know that their father, they know that their mother loves them and also is trying to relate to them and trying to be flexible and gentle with them. And in light of this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions fi kitabi al-mubin, which means, and lower to them the wing of humility out of mercy, and say, my Lord, have mercy upon them, as they brought me up when I was small. So this has to do more so with the way of the children with the parents, that the children need to be merciful and humble with their elders, because as the elders get older, they're less able to do things and fulfill their own needs and basic desires and what have you, and they need support, and they're going to need help from their children. So establishing that bond at an early age, and always remaining humble for everyone, for the parents and the children, will help strengthen that bond. And we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, accepts our good and forgives our evil, blesses all of our children, and helps us to keep bonds with our children and be better parents and elders, and better sons and daughters. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.